We'll start the prayers. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shruniyama Devaha Bhadram Pashe Makshabhiryajatraha Stirairangaihi Stushtvagam Sashtanovihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuho Swasti na Indro Vruddhashrabaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastakshorarishthanemihi Swasti no Brihaspatirdhadatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We're studying Mandukya Upanishad, the Shankara Bashyam. We have finished the first 6 mantras of the Upanishad. Now we are studying the Gaudapada Acharya's Karikas. He has written 9 Karikas in this particular section. The first 5 mantras of the Upanishad are covered in first 5 Karikas. The 6th mantra is covered in the 4 Karikas from 6 to 9. We are studying the second Karika now. As you know, Mandukya Upanishad is a very, very small Upanishad consisting only of 12 mantras. But the depth of knowledge in Mandukya for self-realization is the highest. When we as seekers are trying to understand what is this world, who am I, who is the creator of this world, these questions which we have can be answered only from the Upanishads. There is nowhere else you can find the answers to these questions. The Upanishad gives the answers, but not everybody understands the answer in the way the Upanishad wants us to understand. That is because our minds are different. The Vastu which is being revealed is one. But some of us, we face difficulties in understanding the truth which has been realized, which is revealed in the Upanishads. This is where Shankara Bhashyam helps us a lot. Let me go to the second Karika where we stopped last time. This is the Bhashyam where we were discussing the Sat Vastu which is there in Sushupti. Sat Vastu means that our real nature, which is the Karanam, which is the seed form. Normally, we go to sleep, we never understand what happens in sleep. Only in Mandukya Upanishad, that full analysis of the sleep is being mentioned, and it runs into several pages. So much has been written about the sleep state, you will be amazed. Because that is the doorway, according to the Upanishad, the sleep state is the doorway from where the waking and the dream emerges. Very unique teaching of Mandukya. So here you can find that, here you can see what Shankaracharya says is that sleep state is called as the Maya Shakti. And in this Upanishad, it is called as Prana. Maya Shakti, Prana, Ishvara are all the same. The status of the cause for this universe is the state of Sushupti. So in the Sushupti state, there is a mixture of the reality. Try to understand this because this is very, very important. Many of the students who learn the Mandukya Upanishad, they are not able to understand these intricacies unless until you go in the line of thinking of Shankaracharya. So in the Sushupti state, it is a seed state where there is a reflection of Brahman or the Sat, the, the reality. There is a reflection of that in the Karana Shariram and in the Karana Prapancha. We all have got three Sharirams. Sthula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram. Here the focus is on Karana Shariram. So in the sleep state, all of us are in the Karana Shariram, and here it is called as prana. Don't get confused with the prana, the normal breath. It is just a name given to the Sushupti state. In all Upanishad, Prajna Ishvara is called as Jagat Karanam. So, there are two aspects to this final reality. One is the ultimate. Ultimate means Nirgunam. Then the same Nirgunam appears as this whole universe is the teaching of the Upanishad. For the universe, the seed state is Saguna Ishvara. That means Ishvara with Maya Shakti. So where do we start from? Normally, we will start from Karyam Brahma. Karyam means product. This whole universe is a product of that Brahman, that reality. So this first pada, the waking state and the dream state, Dvitiya pada, they are Karyam. They are the effect. They are the product. They are the product of what? They are the product of the third pada. The third pada is called as Karanam Brahma. The first and the second pada is called as Karyam Brahma. Try to understand these technical names given to the three padas. What about the last pada, which is Turiyam or the fourth pada? The fourth pada is the Shuddham Brahma. Shuddham Brahma is a Karanam Brahma. A Karanam means it is not a cause, it is a pure existence, pure consciousness. Okay? So, this is where you should have a clear understanding of what we are discussing, where we are going to go, and how we realize our nature. Kathopanishad says, Anyatra dharma, anyatra adharma, anyatra asmat kritat kritat, anyatra bhuta cha bhavya cha, yattat pashyati tadvad. Nachiketa, the 8-year-old boy who is a student of Kathopanishad, he asked a question to the Lord of Death. And he asked the question because on this mantra, the whole Upanishad is explained. This is the seed verse for Kathopanishad. See, many a times you have a question from a disciple. Mandukya Upanishad also, there is a question. Teach me one substance from which I can understand the whole universe. That is the question asked by in Mandukya Upanishad. In Katha Upanishad, the question is, tell me, is there anything different than virtue and vice, right and wrong, cause and effect? Now you can see the cause and effect. Is there something different than cause and effect? That is what you should relate in our Mandukya. In Mandukya, what does it say? Cause is the sleep state. The effect is the waking state and the sleep state. So the question asked in Kathopanishad is the same. Is there anything called as Turiyam? It is not a cause, which is not an effect, and which is neither the past, neither the future. Future means a product which will come. Past means cause. A brilliant question in the context of spirituality. So always we start with Karanam Brahma, and then what we do, that Karanam Brahma, we do Adhyaropa. Adhyaropa means superimposition. On the Karanam, we do superimposition. That means we say from this cause, the effect has come. That stage is called as Adhyaropa. This method is followed in all the Upanishads to reveal Turiya. So, cause is the sleep state, the effect is waking and dream. What is that cause? We will try to understand. When we analyze the sleep state, we will know what is the cause. Then what happens? Then we say, why do you want to keep the product? You drop the product. You drop means you, in your mind, you negate the Jagrat and Sushupti, Jagrat and Swapna. When you negate this Jagrat and Swapna, the same cause, which was earlier called as cause, becomes causeless because there is no effect. This is done in the mind of a seeker. So all of us, when we try to understand this nature of ours, we have to first start from where we are, this Jagrat Avastha. Then what do? We say this Jagrat Avastha is because of the ignorance which we have in the sleep state. Then what we do is say, we drop the ignorance. When we drop the ignorance, the cause goes away. That means what? The effect will not be there. Then what remains? What remains is Akaranam Brahma, which is called as Turiyam. Here, Shankaracharya introduces a Purva Pakshi. If you're introducing something and dropping, why are you introducing first? For example, instead of getting into the mud and washing away the mud, first of all, why do you get into the mud? Why introduce Karanatvam and then wash away? That is the question of the Purva Pakshi. Here Shankaracharya says, seekers are having a gross mind, which is only understanding the world. So they are not able to negate the world at all. They can't. Suppose you tell us, a new seeker, the world doesn't exist. You drop the world and see who you are. It's very difficult for a person because he is used to the world. So therefore, in order, the mind must become an adhikari for receiving this knowledge. Shankaracharya says, we need to have the Karanam Brahman status, which is what this Upanishad does. For example, the pole vaulter. He uses a pole to go to the other side of the bar. As soon as he goes on top of the bar, he will not keep that pole. He will drop the pole because he wants to go to the other side. Now, there are two types of seekers. One seeker will say, if the pole has to be dropped, why use the pole? Another seeker will say, I am too much attached to the pole. I won't drop the pole. I should not be ungrateful to the pole or Ishvara. So we have to drop the status of Ishvara, the status of the Jiva, in order to know what is the truth behind this entire jagat. So the karanatvam which is used is basically to get sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, which is the qualification of purifying our mind. Once we have the qualification, like you do upasana, you learn the Upanishads, you do karma yoga. Karma yoga, upasana yoga is mainly meant for purification of the mind. Purification of mind means what? Your rajoguna will come down and tamoguna will come in the mind. Then what happens? Sattva will dominate. When sattva dominates, you listen to the Upanishad, you will get the right knowledge and it will click for you. That is what Shankaracharya is trying to explain in this section. In Vivek Chudamani, there is a beautiful verse, Ekameva sadaneka karanam, karanantara niransya karanam, karyakarana vilakshanam swayam, brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. So what? See, the same message which is there in the Upanishad is being described in so many places. We are going to see this many references which we will discuss. In Vivek Chodamani, it says you drop that cause. There is only one existence which is behind the entire universe. That existence, that Turiyam is without a cause. It is causeless. But to reach that causeless, I must go through the methodology followed by the Upanishad. And then what we'll say, Brahma Tattvamasi Bhavayatmani. Now you meditate on that causeless Brahman, that causeless pure state. That is what we try to do in our meditation sessions. We are trying to drop all other obstacles to reach that pure state of Brahman. All Shrutis and Smritis, they give Karanatva Upadesha. Karanatva Upadesha means they always talk from, first of all, they'll talk about Adhyaropa. They will say this, there is a creation. Now in this creation, this is the Karanam. This is the creation is an effect. But what is the Karanam? What is the cause of this effect is ignorance. Then they will say, okay, now you go to the Karanam. After you go to the Karanam, they will say, here is where knowledge that you are not the Karanam, you are something other than that Karanam, which is Turiya, which is the fourth state. Okay. Now, this is a revision slide. I will just run through it. Here we are doing this particular Karika number 2, where it says you meditate on the right eye as Vishwa, then Taijasa in the mind, Prajna in the heart. This is the actual mantra we are discussing. And there are many portions of Shankara's Bhashyam on this particular month, on this particular verse, Karika. So 3 places for meditations were told, right eye, mind, and heart. In all this, what do we say? It is one Turiyam, which is having 3 distinct entities in these 3 places, and it has 3 different experiences. And in the 6th mantra, which we are going to see now, is which is going to be discussed in the next stage, in the next 6th mantra, in the 6th Karika, we are going to see. In the 6th Karika is where we are talking about the Sushupti state, where we are saying Ishvara and Prajna. That means the Jiva and Paramatma, Jivatma and Paramatma, they become one in the sleep state. And that Ishvara is called as the knower of all. It is the controller of all. And it is from where the whole universe originates. This is a very important mantra In the entire Upanishadic literature, this sixth mantra of Mandukya Upanishad you should never forget. It is very similar to the Taittiriya Upanishad, third chapter, Yatova imani bhutani jayante, that mantra. Then Kaivalya Upanishad, the 20, then the 19th verse, which talks about Maye Vasakalam Jatam. These are three mantras you should never forget. They are all talking about the same thing. So in between, there was a diversion topic of prajna being called as prana, which was mentioned in the Chandogya Upanishad, this particular mantra. Prana bandhanam hi somya manaha. This is just a revision. So this mantra we discussed last week, where prana is said to be Sat Brahma. So it is this pure Sat or pure Turiyam, which is with the power of Maya, it is called as Ishvara. And in the sleep state, it is the Ishvara, which is the substratum, which is the cause for the waking and dream. Now, Mula Vidya is negated by Atma Jnanam. As an individual Jiva, I have got an ignorance about what lies beyond the sleep state. That is what is called as Mula Avidya. Now, this Avidya, this ignorance, has been there with me for many, many births. Several births I've been having, and only when you come to the Upanishad, you understand that your nature is not this body mind complex, which is a part of this universe. Your nature is the pure consciousness which exists beyond the sleep state. It is not that it exists only beyond the sleep state, it exists even now in the waking state. It is also existing in the dream state. It is called as the substratum for the all the three states. So, this is what we have discussed. The pure Brahman is avyavaharyam. Avyavaharyam means without any transactions. But that Brahman appears as Karanam and Karya. See, when we try to look at our own body-mind complex, right now we are in the Jagrata Avastha. Jagrata Avastha is a Vyavaharika state, transactional state. The transactional state is coming out from the Karanam, which is the sleep state. Now, beyond this transactional state and the sleep state, there is a reality. Very difficult for us to accept it initially. But as you go through the Mandukya Upanishad, very, very gradually, you will accept this. There are there are beautiful verses which are discussed in the future. We will go through it. We are going to take it very slowly because I want you to understand one Upanishad very thoroughly. It will take a long time, but doesn't matter. But we'll try to see. See, this is a broad picture you should have. So Avyavaharya means there is a substratum which never changes. And it is beyond the Karanam and Karya. This fact you should understand again and again, try to bring it to your mind. There is a cause, there is an effect. But I should try to go beyond this cause and effect and ask the question, who am I? This body is born. It keeps on having birth. Because of what? All the karma, sanchita karma. That theory we have to go whenever we are discussing our body, mind complex and this world. The next, the next discussion by Shankaracharya is he is going to give us three or four references to talk about this Turiya Atma. Very beautiful section of the second Karika. See, this is why we study Karika. This is why we study Bhashyam. See, we can just study the 12 mantras and go away, but that will not give you the transformation of your personality. Here, once we go through this, you will understand. Aksharat parata paraha. Sabhavyo Hajaha, Yato Vacho Nivartante, Neti Neti. These are the four references. I'm going to give you the actual mantras so that you can go through it in your whenever you are free, you can go through these mantras. Here I will tell you that these mantras, the four mantras, are talking about how you can reach that Turiya. In Brihadaneka Upanishad, Neti Neti comes. The first then in Mundaka Upanishad, there is one mantra. We'll go through all these mantras. Now, these are the four mantras. All these quotations negate the causal status of Brahman. Look at the last line here. All these four quotations, they negate the causal status. That means what? There is something which is not a cause of this universe. It is always there. That is the nature of God in his ultimate form. That is the nature of the jiva also, because it is a reflection of that ultimate Ishvara, which we are all only in reflections of that. So I also have to say that the consciousness in me is the consciousness in the entire universe. And then this consciousness is an independent entity which can exist by itself without the body and the mind and the universe. Once I accept this, this is what is called as moksha. See, moksha is not so difficult to understand. In simple terms, I negate the waking state, negate the dream state, and negate the sleep state. And then ask the question, who am I? Whatever answer you get in your mind about that, your nature, that is your ultimate. That is what it is saying here. If you have understood this, now we will go to the next portion of the Bhashya. This state, which is called as Turiyam, it is called as a Karana Avastha. That means there is no, it is not an Avastha. So you don't try to search for God in the waking state. What you have to say is drop this state and then try to see where is that God, where is that me which I'm talking about. In Turiyam alone, it is appearing as Prajna. In Prajna state, it is devoid of waking and dream. Okay, so the pure state does not have the seed for samsara. That is why by holding on to that Brahman, by holding on to that fourth state, I can say I am free. See, Shankaracharya, in the very initial stages itself of Mandukya Upanishad, tells us what is the process of getting that moksha. Because, see, the beauty of Mandukya Upanishad is it is very, very beautifully structured. This structuring you don't find in any other Upanishad. Mandukya is very unique. And it goes by our own personal experience of the three states. So the Shastra will really reveal in the seventh mantra, it will say that pure nature doesn't have the seed for the origination of the universe. That is independently existing and it never changes. That is what is called as Sat Brahman, Nirgunam Brahman. In the sleep state, what is experienced? The causal body, the Karana Shariram is experienced. Okay. Now, in the Karana Shariram, what is, how do people express that Karana Shariram? I didn't know anything in sleep. That is the experience. So, it is one entity, one ego, which says, I slept, means I was the prajna. I dreamt, I was the Taijasa. I am now in the waking state, I am called as Vishwa. So, without the prapanchas, without these experienced objects, I have to say who am I? And that is what is called as Turiya Atma. The first three padas are the stepping stones. The fourth pada gives the liberation. So we have to go step by step to understand the waking, dream, sleep, and then what happens is we arrive at the fourth state, the fourth pada, and that is where is the final liberation. Okay, so you should know how this whole Upanishad helps us to drop our identifications and hold on to that pure Atma. Mundaka Upanishad, this is the mantra which was quoted. This mantra comes in the second chapter, first section, second mantra. This is the description of that pure Turiyam Brahma. It is formless. See, what is it is formless. These are the mantras you should write down in your diary. Mandukya mantra number 7. Mundaka Upanishad 212. I will tell you the other ones, one or two. And then every time whenever I'm discussing an mantra from the Upanishad, which discusses the attributes or the features of that Brahman, you should note it down because these mantras, if you write it down and you contemplate on them, you will again and again be able to realize that truth within yourself. So, what is the truth in Mundaka Upanishad? We have done Mundaka Upanishad before coming to Mandukya in the previous classes. Now, Brahman is pure, formless, self-resplendent, self-shining. That means it doesn't require any other light. To know yourself, you don't need anything. You don't need the sun because the sun is not there in that Turiyam. You don't need sense organs. In Turiyam, there is no sense organs. There is no body. There is no mind. But still, you will know that that is my nature because it is self-revealing. It is all pervading because it is both within and without. Within means it is neither inside the body, it is neither outside the body, it is both. That means it is all pervading. See, that the organs are inside the body. It is not all pervading. Mind is inside this body. It is not all pervading. But consciousness is inside the body, outside the body. Therefore, we say it is all pervading. It is transcendent. Transcendent means what? Beyond the three states, whatever is that state, it is called as transcendent. Unmanifest. Unmanifest means it is where all these things are are merged. That is the description. So Akshara Brahma is Maya Sahitam Brahma Chaitanyam when you refer it with reference to the world. Without reference to the world, the same Aksharam Brahma is pure Brahma. Okay, don't get confused. The same Brahman when you say, I am that pure Brahman, you're not referring to the world, you're not referring to anything about the states. At that time, what happens? When you claim it, it is pure Brahman. It is Nirgunam Brahman, formless Brahman. It is. But when you look at this, look at the world, oh, what is this world? Then we say this world is Maya Sahitam Brahman. That means the same Brahman with the Shakti, with the power of Maya. Okay? With the power of Maya, it is the third pada, the sleep state. Without the Maya power, it is the fourth state, Nirgunam Brahma. That Nirgunam Brahma is Ajaha. Ajaha means unborn. Okay? We are going to these are all the steps. Slowly, we'll be discussing this many, many times in Upanishad. Shankaracharya repeats the same message again and again in different forms. Second message, you see, Shankaracharya quotes this. Now, we also have to try to understand and try to relate these four quotations to the sleep state and the Turiya state. Taittiriya Upanishad says, Yato Vacho Nivartante. That means what? We have done this also. This Brahman is beyond words because words cannot describe this pure Atma. Okay? When we go through this four quotations and then try to understand that pure consciousness, it'll click for you. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it says neti neti. Neti neti means what? You drop all the Murta Prapancha, that means formed universe, which is called as Karyam. One neti is for Karya Prapancha, the product, which is with form. Another neti is for the Karana Amurta Prapancha, that means formless, which is the sleep state. Karanam, whenever we say, you should understand it is the seed condition, potential condition from where this universe emerges every day. It is a truth which we have to contemplate. Once you contemplate and you have a pure mind, you will accept this. This is the stepping stone to go and cross the three states. Shankaracharya's aim is to drop all the three states. Now, you see how he's doing it so beautifully. He's taking all the four mantras from four Upanishads and then he's saying, okay, now you see, in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, this is the methodology. In Mundaka Upanishad, he talked about formless. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we are going to see the same thing in the seventh mantra of Mandukya. Okay? So, Bijam means seed condition, which is the sleep state, which is the Karanam state, which is described in the fifth and the sixth mantra of the Mandukya Upanishad. And the seventh mantra is not a Karanam, it is not a Karyam, it is Vilakshanam. Okay, the third mantra of the Upanishad talked about waking state. Fourth mantra talks about the dream state. Fifth and the sixth mantra talks about the sleep state. This is the summary of the seven mantras of Mandukya. The first two mantras are just introductions to say that Om is everything in this creation. So, Sabija and Abija. See, these are Sanskrit technical terms used by Shankaracharya. You have to use them, learn how to use them. As you understand this English Bhashyam, the translation in English, you will understand. Sabija means what? With the seed, that pure consciousness has got Karanam and Karya. Without the seed, it is called as Abhijam and it is called as Nishkaranam That is what is called as the fourth pada, which is the Turi. Okay. Tasyaiva prajna shabdavachasya. This is a very important statement in this second Karika. Gaudapada Acharya says that Turiyam itself is only appearing as this prajna. What is Turiyam? Turiyam is the Paramarthika state. Paramarthika means it is a higher order of reality. Like the waker and the dreamer, there are two different realities. It is not the same reality. Similarly, Turiyam, our higher nature, is Paramarthikam. Prajna is in the Vyavaharika state. The waking is also called as Vyavaharika state. The dream state is called as Pratibhasikam. Pratibhasikam means it is a projection of the mind and which the consciousness, the Sakshi is seeing it. So our dream state is also Vyavaharika. But we are trying to distinguish between the Vyavaharika waking and sleep and dream state. For the dream state, we give a name Pratibhasika. Okay. Turiyam exists independently without the three states. See, these are the technical terms. We go through these technical terms. We use logic also. We use our experience also. And we use the Shruti state. When we do all this, what happens? We can rise above our body-mind level. Dehadi Sambandha Turiyam. Turiyam is free from all the three states. It exists in two forms, with the body and without the body. With the body, it is called as relative reality. Because in the waking state, the Turiyam is also there, but it is relative reality compared to and it exists with the body. And without the Deha Sambandha, suppose you say, I drop all the three states, it is called as absolute reality, which is called as Paramarthika. The word Paramarthika means whenever you're dropped the Pancha Koshas, the five Koshas, or the three Sharirams, or the three states, that state is called as Paramarthika. Very easy to understand. Vyavaharikam means transaction. Paramarthikam means the higher state, which is my own state. Pritak Pakshayati. This Turiyam will be explained, revealed in the seventh mantra. This is the seventh mantra, which we will see later. But I just want to tell you, Nanta Prajnam, Na Bahish Prajnam, No Bhayata Prajnam. This mantra is the main mantra of Mandukya Bashyam. What does this mantra say? Consciousness is with the external world. Then it is called as Jagrat Avastha, waking world. First pada. Same consciousness is with the mental projections in the dream state, Swapna Avastha, which is called as Anta Prajnam. So the first state is Bahish Prajnam. Bahish Prajnam means what? External world, which is seen by the consciousness. Same consciousness. Sees external world, same consciousness sees the dream world. Second part. Same consciousness sees all the worlds merged into one Pragyana Ghanam, which is the seed state for the waking and dream, which is called as the Sushupti state, the third part. Whenever we try to understand consciousness dissociated with the three states. It is called as Turiyam. That Turiyam is explained in the seventh mantra. Very beautiful mantra. We're going to see it after we do the nine Karikas. We are going to discuss this seventh. The nine Karikas, which Gaudapada has written, is for us to get ready, for my mind to prepare for this understanding of this seventh. Okay. So we have finished. Shankara comes back to the original discussions of the Vishwa Taijasa Prajna, and it can be experienced in the Jagrata Avastha, which we have seen in the last class. That when you close your eyes and bring the experience of your sleep state, in the waking state itself, you are a Prajna. When you close your eyes and you imagine certain things about what you have experienced in the past, in the Jagrata Avastha itself, you're daydreaming. It is Swapna. And of course, in the Jagrata, we are anyway seeing the world. So this is a unique thing said by Gaudapadacharya in this Karika. It is not mentioned in the Upanishad, but Gaudapadacharya mentions this particular point, and that is what Shankaracharya elaborated so much. Okay? Whenever we observe the silence in this waking state itself, when there is no external world or internal world, what we experience is the sleep state in the waking state. That's what is prajna. That's what this Gaudapada Charya wants us to understand. That it is one consciousness which is appearing as the three. Once you understand this aspect, then it is very easy to say, drop all the three states. That is my real nature. And that is the final truth of the universe. That is what is called as Atma. That is what is called as Brahman. That is what is called as Bhuma, Turiyam. All these are just names. It is the same thing which was revealed by Kathopanishad. Same thing revealed in Anyatra Dharma, Anyatra Adharma in Kathopanishad. Mundakopanishad, we talked about that Divya Murti, that mantra. Brahdanika Upanishad, Neti Neti. All that is talking about the same Turiya Avastha. Okay. So this we have already covered. Now with this, we finish the second Karika, the second mantra of the Gaudapadacharya's commentary. There are 225 such mantras in the whole of Mandukya. We are right now doing the second mantra. Okay. What did we see in the second mantra? Vishwa is in the right eye. Taijasa is within the mind. Prajna is in the space within the heart. It is the same Turiyam which is expressing in all this. That's what we are seeing. Now, let us try to see the third and the fourth Karikas.
विश्वो हि स्थूलभुङ् नित्यम् विश्वो हि स्थूलभुङ् नित्यम् तैजसः प्रविविक्तभुक् तैजसः प्रविविक्तभुक् आनन्दभुक् तथा प्राज्ञः आनन्दभुक् तथा प्राज्ञः त्रिधा भोगं निबोधत त्रिधा भोगं निबोधत.
The third Karika and the fourth Karika are just repetitions of what has been said in third month in the fourth mantra, which talks about the dream state, and the fifth mantra, which talks about the sleep state. So here it is a summary. It says, the Gaudapadacharya summarizes and says, in the waking state, you experience gross objects. In the dream state, you experience subtle objects. In the sleep state, you experience bliss when there is nothing and you are still there. What do you experience? Happiness. That is what is the third month. Okay? That so our experiences in the world are these threefold experiences. The threefold experiences are given names. The one who experiences is given a name. Experiencer is Vishwa, Taijasa, and Prana. Prathama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Pada. First Pada, second Pada, third Pada. Vishwa Sthula Bhuk. Sthula Bhuk means what? It is the waker experiences the gross universe. Always, Nitya. So, for example, every time we are in the waking state, we are always experiencing the gross world. See, the Upanishad is so beautiful, it explains to us what we are experiencing. And then through our normal experience in itself, it is saying, try to see now, gross universe. And then it says, dreamer always experience pravivikta. Pravivikta means it is different than the gross state. Always the dream state is different for all of us, for you, for me, for everybody. Because why is it different? It is because it is Sukshma Prapancha. Sukshma Prapancha means subtle universe. How is the subtle universe created? If you go to Tattvabodha, you will remember it is the subtle mind which creates this subtle universe. Projections of the mind. Why do projections happen? Because of the Karana Shariram, which is the Vasanas. Then next, in the Karika third, what does he say? Tatha prajnam ananda bhuk pravibhakta bhuk. That means in the sleep state, the experiencer is experiencing pratibimba anand. All of us, our experience of the sleep state is the same. Why is it the same? Because ultimately the cause of this universe ultimately means what? The Turiyam is the final cause, ultimate. It is a causeless cause. Now that is shining in the mind in the sleep state. When it shines, what happens? It is called as Pratibimba Ananda. The original Turiyam is what? Bimba Ananda. In the sleep state, you, me, everybody, we experience Pratibimba Anand. That means it's a reflection of that pure state in our mind. So, Tridha Bhogam Nibodhata. Stula Prapancha, Sukshma Prapancha, Karana Prapancha. Waker, dreamer, sleeper. All these are experienced by one consciousness. Same consciousness divides itself into three according to the medium. The nothingness in the sleep state is a potential condition of the unmanifest universe. See, for example, our body is there. We see our body in the waking state. But the body also is there in the sleep state. But in what form it is there? It is in the form of unmanifest condition. The gross body, the gross eyes are with the help of that pure consciousness. It is illumining the gross body. The same consciousness is also illumining our unmanifest condition. Zero, the number zero, what does it have? Can we say zero is nothingness? No. Zero is an unmanifest form. It is unmanifest form for all the numbers. You can have billions of numbers. So zero doesn't have zero value, but it has a great value when you look at it as an unmanifest form of all the numbers which can exist. So zero is everything in potential form. Similarly, sleep state is everything in the potential form. All the prapanchas are in potential form, seed condition in the sleep state. This is all about the third Karika. Shankaracharya doesn't expand on these two Karikas. He doesn't give any other references to any other mantras, or he doesn't expand on this. He says that you just refer to my explanation of the verses on the dream state, sleep state. You will understand these two Karikas. Now, next, the fourth Karika.
स्थूलं तर्पयते विश्वम् स्थूलं तर्पयते विश्वम् प्रविविक्तं तु तैजसम् प्रविविक्तं तु तैजसम् आनन्दश्च तथा प्राज्ञम् आनन्दश्च तथा प्राज्ञम् त्रिधा तृप्तिं निबोधत त्रिधा तृप्तिं निबोधतः.
This chanting which you are hearing is from Vijaya, who is based in Texas in the US. She has chanted all the mantras for the Mandukya Upanishad. Whenever you listen, it is from her. She has got a beautiful voice and she is very good in chanting. Now, in this fourth mantra, fourth Karika, it is the focus here is on the experiencer. In the previous mantra, the focus was on the prapancha, sthula prapancha, sukshma prapancha, karana prapancha. Here, the focus is on who gets satisfied. That means what? The experiencer Vishwa. The focus here is what Gaudapalacharya says that one thuriyam, when it is with this gross body, it changes its personality and it refers to itself as the waker. And the waker gets satisfied with the gross objects. The same thurium, when it goes through the mind of a person, it satisfies the dreamer personality, and the sleeper personality. So that is what he is saying in this particular mantra. Every experience brings out trupti. Threefold trupti is born out of the experiences. Bhoga and Bhoga Janya Tripti is threefold. That means I am experiencing the world, I am satisfied with the world. Sthula Vishwam Tarpayate. These are all the words used in the Karika number 4. So in Sthula, it is the Prathama Para, Vishwam, and the object is giving fulfillment to the Vishwam personality, satisfaction to the Vishwa personality. See how deep we are going into our own experiences. Thula Prapancha gives satisfaction to the waker. It does not give satisfaction to the dreamer. The dreamer is totally different. The dream world, only a dream water will quench the dream thirst. The baking water, we will have plenty. But if you're dreaming about floods and famine and all that in dream, you will be suffering because it is a different world. It is a subtle. Similarly, waking world, we may be suffering and all that. Then when you rise to the Atma level, Turiam level, from the Turiam level, waking world objects and sufferings do not matter. They are a different plane of consciousness. For example, Tarpanam. Many people do tarpanam, means you do rituals for your forefather who have passed away. At that time, we do tarpanam for 3 generations. The ritual satisfies the souls who have departed, your father, grandfather, or the great grandfather. 3 generations are fulfilled, satisfied by a simple act of tarpanam. That is why you say tripyata, tripyata, tripyata. For those who are doing tarpanam, they will understand. So, it here Gaudapadacharya focuses on the ego aspect, which is the waker, dreamer, and the sleeper. In the it is the same one thurium in 3 different words. It is getting 3 different satisfactions. Tridha truptam nibodata. Okay. Shankaracharya's Karika, Shankaracharya's commentary for this third and fourth mantra, he only says Uktau Shlokau. The meaning of these 2 Karikas, 3 and 4, have already been told by me while commenting on the relevant mantras 3 to 5 of the Mandukya. Whatever he has said, we have seen mantras, we have seen his descriptions in the third, fourth, and fifth mantras. So 3, 4, 5, whatever he has said there, he says, I don't want to say anything because these 2 are repetitions, are covering the same whatever has been discussed before. Now, next we are going to the fifth Karika.
त्रिषु धामसु यद्भोज्यम् त्रिषु धामसु यद्भोज्यम् भोक्ता यश्च प्रकीर्तितः भोक्ता यश्च प्रकीर्तितः वेदैतदुभयं यस्तु वेदैतदुभयं यस्तु स भुञ्जानो न लिप्यते स भुञ्जानो न लिप्यते.
So here Gaudapadacharya says, one who knows the experiencer and experience, the bhokta and the bhogyam in Sanskrit. Bhokta means experiencer. Bhogyam means experienced. In the 3 avasthas, the one who knows that in 3 different states, it is one consciousness which is experiencing 3 different prapanchas. If one knows this, that in each state there is a world which I experience, what Gaudapadacharya says is that he is not affected when he is experiencing the respective objects of the 3 states. What he's telling us is, even if you don't know the 7th mantra, don't reach the 7th mantra. Even if you just have listened to so far of Mandukya Upanishad, then what is the benefit, he says? He says that you will not be affected by one state's experiences. Every day we go to sleep. So today I had a bad day. So what? That is what he's saying here. See that he says that you are not only the waker, you're also the dreamer, you're also the sleeper. At this level, he's saying this. But afterwards, what will he say? In the 6th mantra, 7th mantra, he will say, you are not any of this, you are the Turiya. Okay, this is the essence behind the 5th Karika. One Turiyam puts 3 costumes. Very, very important section where if you understand, see, these are the beautiful sections of Mandukya Karika. See, we normally see a normal person will never think on these terms, think like this. Only when you try to come to Upanishadic study, you try to think in this way. Oh, there is another state. There is another state. And I am different in the three states. I'm experiencer in this state, experiencer in that state, experiencer in the three states are different. So I should, but is there a common thing between the three states? Is what he will ask in the seventh mantra. One Turiyam appears as the Vishwa Taijasa Prajna in the three states. That's the first point. What is the second point? That Turiyam does not become, it only appears. Very important point. Mandukya Upanishad, very important. Turiyam only appears. This will give you moksha. If you try to just contemplate on this portion, very important portion. Turiyam does not become Vishwa. It doesn't become Taijasa. It doesn't become Pragya, but appears as Vishwa Taijasa Prajna, Bhokta, with three costumes. This is where many of the Upanishadic talks which I have given before, I always used to mention that with the medium of a gross body, subtle body, causal body, you are a samsari. But when you drop these three bodies, you are a samsari. That means you are not a samsari, you are pure Atma. Turiyam continues to be asanga. See, the nature of asanga in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it says asangoham, asangoham. It gives the feature of Atma. One of the features of Atma, or it is never attached to anything in the world. Either it is attached to the experiencer, Vishwa, neither it is attached to the dreamer, Taijasa, it is neither attached to the sleeper, Prajna. It is independently existing by itself as Turiya Atma. When it exists as Turiya Atma, it is called as transcendent, unassociated consciousness. When it is associated with the consciousness, it is called as Jiva. When it is associated with the Panchas, it is called as the Jiva. The same Jiva recognizes I am not the Jiva of the three states. I am not the waker. I am not the dreamer, sleeper. I am Turiyam, always and Turiyam. The costumes do not affect me because I have the ability to take the costume in the waking state, drop the costume in the sleep state. What is the costume? The sense organs, the mind. That's all. For each one of us, it is the same costume. With the help of the sense organs and the mind, I experience the gross world. With the help of only the mind, I experience the dream world. When I don't experience both this dream and waking, it is called as the sleep world, which is the seed state for the waking and dream. But these are the costumes. Costumeless Jiva is Turiyam Brahma. That is what is our final goal. What I should understand from Mandukya, what I should understand from the Bhagavad Gita is this final goal of Turiyam. In Bhagavad Gita, there is a verse, 5th chapter, 8th mantra. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavid pashyan shrinman sprishan jigran ashnan gachan swapan swasan. It goes on. The fifth, there is, so in this particular mantra, Lord Krishna, as Turiyam, says, Naiva kinchit karomiti. I don't do anything. When we study the Gita, we are not able to understand this mantra because we don't have the background of the Upanishadic revelations. But when you have the Turiya mantra in the Upanishad and you understand all the three states so perfectly, then this mantra becomes very easy. All the activities of the body, which are like seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, all these are going on. At what level? At the Vyavaharika level. But at the Paramarthika level, nail kichit karomiti. I don't do any action because I am asangaha. Another beautiful verse which comes in the Bhagavad Gita, 28th verse of the third chapter. Tattvavattu mahabhavo gunakarme vibhagayoh gunaguneshu vartante iti matva na sajjate. Shankaracharya quotes these two mantras almost in every Upanishad he quotes them. Because these are fundamental mantras of Bhagavad Gita, revealing our name. So, what does he say in this 28th mantra of third chapter? He says very clearly, the one who knows the Turiya Atma and the one who knows that Prakriti is having the gunas and the gunas are acting with the gunas of the sense organs are acting with the guna in the sense objects. So interaction vyavahara is going on between the gunas. Who am I? Nirguna Atma Turiyam Atma. So, really speaking, nothing happens to me. The Atma. Okay. With this, I will stop here today. Uh, very beautiful sections in the fifth, sixth uh, mantras of the Karikas. We'll continue this next week from this page 468. And there are a few other mantras Shankaracharya quotes, and this section is a fairly long section. So we'll continue this next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, there are two, three remarks in the chat box. The first one is from Ramachandra. He says, is the Turiyam the Akaranam Brahma? Projects the Srishti with the Karanam Brahma and Karyam Srishti. Correct. You're right. Whenever we say Turiyam, it refers to the pure consciousness, which is neither the Karanam, neither the Kari. Okay, very important point in Mandukya Upanishad, and very important point whenever you're trying to realize who you are. And Mandukya Upanishad is so beautiful because it's very structured. It tells you how step by step I can drop my identifications with the world, with the body, with my panchakoshas, and then ask the question, who am I? And Turiyam is what is my real nature? The description of Turiyam we are going to see in the seventh mantra of Mandukya Upanishad. When you see the seventh mantra, you have to digest the entire mantra completely and you have to meditate on it. contemplate. Let that thought go deep within your consciousness. Then only you will get the, the benefit of the study. Academically, we can all study, we can understand, but Shankaracharya's Bhashyam, when we study in this fashion, he will slowly clear the doubts. For example, you are making a statement, it comes with the clarity of knowledge. So, coming back to your question, Turiyam is Akaranam Brahma. Perfect. Now, what projects the Srishti with a Karanam, which projects the Srishti? It is Karanam Brahma, which is called as the sleep state, which is called as Karanam Brahma is the Ishvara, which has got the Maya Shakti. The whole law of karma, generally which we understand as Srishti, is basically Vedika Srishti. Vedika Srishti says there is a law of karma, which gives us the birth of the body because of our previous karmas. So this is what we understand now. Whenever we understand the Srishti and our body and our actions, it is the lower order. Try to pick up this essential points. Whenever we are talking about the world, we are talking about the lower order. It is not the higher Turiya. Turiya means it is beyond the waker, dreamer, and sleep. Okay? So, Srishti is with Karanam Brahma and Karyam is Karanam Brahma is the Ishvara. Karyam is our two states, waking state and the dream state. Uh, then the next question which Ramchandra is asking is, so the Avyavaharyam Brahma is never changing, non-transactional Brahman, which is to be understood separate from Vyavaharika Brahma. Yes, you are right. Ishvara is of a lower order. It is belonging to the Mithya world. Higher order of reality is Turiya. So, second point you understood correctly. Third point, Thurium is always stable and without undergoing any change, even when the Srishti is projected. Yes, this is also correct. So, in all these cases, we are seeing that it is one Turium which is always changeless, which is what Mandukya beautifully brings up. I'm very happy that you are understanding slowly the intricacies of the Mandukya Upanishad. All whatever you're saying, it shows me that you are understanding the Mandukya. Very good. So Ramchandra, you're correct in all three. Do you have any other questions? Do you have any other remarks? What I said? Shanmugam will unmute everybody so that in case you want to uh, say something, you can unmute yourself and then you can answer the question. Yeah, Ramchandra, can you answer? Are you able to unmute?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you. So this is a new point which I learned today, that
Yes,
both Karanam and Karyam are part of the Srishti.
yes,
So yeah, that is a new point which I understood. Thank you very much, sir. So
very good.
yeah.
So slowly you will start learning many things. See, Mandukya, we are just making a beginning right now. We are right in the beginning stage, but you're going to learn a lot of things. Because this is a Upanishad where we are discussing the Upanishad with the help of two commentaries, one by the Padacharya and another by Shankaracharya. This gives us a tremendous amount of knowledge and clarity. You see, the beauty is it will give us knowledge and clarity so that you can say, I'm sure each one of you who's listening to these talks will be able to accept whatever the Upanishad says is the ultimate truth. See, that is the beauty. If you accept what the Upanishad says and say, yes, I understand what the Upanishad is, and I can also experience it in my own mind body complex. Okay, very good. Then there is another question by Nandu Desai. It starts with the very first sloka, Shuddha Brahma Parapti Ram, so that the same as Turyam. Yeah, Shuddha Brahma Parapti. Yeah, what you are saying, that particular song, what you are referring, it is the same. See, even when we talk about Sri Ram, and there are many aspects, the same Vedanta is conveyed through the Mahabharata and also all the Puranas. If you understand the Puranas correctly, you will understand the Veda. But the easier method is to go through these Upanishad, which has got a methodology. You see, which has got a step-by-step methodology. Your question is correct. Shuddha Brahma means Turiya Atma is the essence of Lord Ram. Okay. So, Nandu, you have any other question on this?
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. And we say like in like Eko Ham Bahut. So that is starting from here itself, right? I mean, earlier
That's
there was
correct.
nothing, and from there it is everything
Yes, you're
started.
right. Very good.
Thank you, sir.
You're understanding the Upanishad and trying to relate the other things which you have got in your back of the mind. Very good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Next, there's nothing else in the chat box. Shanta, can you go ahead?
Namaste, Shekharji.
Yeah.
Actually, my question is not only related to Mandukya Upanishad, but I think it could be a part of Katha Upanishad. I'm not sure. Um, when we say sleep state is a potential for manifestation, so it is a beginning, right? And the sleep state is the closest state to Turiam, or if you look, depending on whether you're Jnani or you're a Jnani.
Perfect. Yeah.
So when you look at I don't know which Upanishad it is. I think it's Katha, where the guru tells the shishya to look at the seed, and he says, "In this seed,
That
can you
is
see the
Chandogya
potential?"
Upanishad.
Chandogya Upanishad. Okay,
Chandogya,
thank you.
Chandogya.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, I was a bit confused. Yeah. So the seed, can you see anything in it? But there is a potential for the tree to grow or the plant to grow from
Yes,
it,
yes.
right? But when you have the same seed, when you do roast it, it loses its ability to grow a
Yes.
plant from it. So that is what actually I think it describes about the tapa in that respect. But my question now is, can we relate these as when you have a potential to grow into a into a plant, it is the Ajnani sleep state which has got a potential to manifest. Whereas when the seed is roasted and it does not have the ability to grow into a plant, it is the Jnani state which reaches moksha.
Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what the Upanishad is trying to convey. See, in
Okay.
that particular example, in Chandogya Upanishad, it is it is only trying to say that there is an unmanifest condition in the sea. Okay, that is Chandogya Upanishad. In Kathopanishad, so the example ends there in Chandogya Upanishad. So it says that the entire creation is coming from, like you can't see the whole, like you see the unmanifest condition of the tree in a seed. You also try to see the unmanifest condition of the whole universe in that sleep state. Okay, so this is the one example. You close that example with that. Okay. Then there is a second example, which is in Kathopanishad, where it says about roasted seeds. Now here
So I have combined the two, is it?
yeah, see,
Sorry.
you are trying to compare that here the context is different. This in the second in Kathopanishad, the context is how does a jnani, what happens to a jnani when he gets this jnana? There it says that suppose you are having a seed. For a jnani, that seed is normal seed. That normal seed is the sanchita karma, agami karma, prarabdha karma. That seed is that seed which will give many bodies. But for a jnani who has got this jnanam of Mandukya Upanishad or Kathopanishad, what does he say? Through the process of learning, he clearly tries to drop that seed and says that that sleep state is not my real condition. It is a mithya. It is a mithya seed giving a mithya experience of the world. For jnani, he burns all that potential condition of that particular seed. When that seed is burnt, in there it says when you burn the seed, what happens? When you roast a seed, that seed has lost its germination capacity. When the seed loses the germination capacity, it is equivalent to a jnani who has got the knowledge, I am the Turiya Atma, and all this, whatever I'm experiencing, is just a passing phase. My real ultimate nature is this Atma. Then what happens is, what you said is correct. For a jnani, the roasted seed is the example. For a ajnani, the normal seed is the example. Good. I mean, you have understood the basic concepts very clearly.
Yeah, thank you. Dhanyavad.
Shama, you had a question? Shama, are you there? Okay, if Shama is not there, maybe you can. Anybody else has a question?
Hello, Shekharji. Shekharji.
Yeah,
Hari Om,
namaste.
Hari Om,
Go ahead.
Shekharji. Sorry, because I'm actually only on the phone, so I was trying to type
Yeah,
out
no problem. Yeah, tell
on
me.
the chat. But basically, you have quite clearly and very beautifully describing that how Mandukya Upanishad, which seems Karikas and the Bhashyam, which seems to be a very core study, which relates to our study of our own consciousness awareness levels, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct.
Through the Jagrat, yeah. So in that, it is very useful because there is a structure through which we can examine. Even what you've said is like the location, you know, how the Tejasa is the right eye. I'm just curious as to why have they kind of said the Tejasa in the right eye, the Vishwa in the right eye,
Vishwa in the right
Vishwa in the
Right
right
eye.
eye, Vishwa in the right eye, Tejasa in the manas, and the prajna in the heart level. So I'm just curious about how is this location? Is it this for contemplation? Is this for meditation? Or how
Yeah,
have they
purely for
designed it?
meditation. And I have explained this in the earlier talks when we did that mantra.
I think so,
If
yeah.
you listen to the older mantras, you will have the explanation for this. But let me tell you, in
The
short,
location.
the location is basically for meditation.
Okay, correct.
This will purify your mind. Suppose you
Yes.
meditate that the whole waking state is in the right eye. That means that the experiencer is in the right eye. His experience that Vishwa is in the right eye. Why it doesn't say the left eye? Because Upanishad says that the right is more powerful than the left eye. We don't know about this, but this is the truth which is coming from the Upanishads. Maybe if you ask an optician, he will probably give you some
It would
answers.
be, it would
Maybe
be
this,
probably correct. It would probably be correct when we think about the left side brain and the right side brain. And most people are right-handed, in which case the left side brain is actually the more dominant brain. And we see as to how when people have stroke, as to how they actually, if they have a left-sided lesion, they're more likely to lose all their speech and everything. It's just the dominant. So I can figure that one out as to why it is the right eye.
there could be some medical truth in that statement that the right
Yeah,
eye, generally the eyes are where the most of the perceptions of a jiva, it comes from the
yeah,
eyes, not so much from the
yeah.
ears, but from the eyes, because throughout our living life, when we are constantly exposed to the world, and most of the
Yeah.
impressions we gather through our eyes.
To the
Very little
extent
we
I
gather,
read somewhere, yeah, where they are
very little
saying that
we
if
gather
you
from
are
the other
really
senses.
listening, yeah, and they
Yeah.
have
So the
even
other,
said somewhere, not,
yeah,
yeah, sorry, just interrupting you, because even in conversation, they say if you really want to listen to someone, look in the person's right eye, to actually engage. So it's very funny, actually. Why should you be looking? But I am just kind of reiterating in my mind that that's how it is. So the question is about the Jagrat state, which is so all the sensory objective world is being taken in through our sensory system. What about in the Jagrat state? Like, even if I'm not talking to somebody, I'm having my internal dialogues, thoughts, and feelings. So, uh, will this also be Vyavaharika? In which case, you're not relating to the world, but you're relating to your own self?
correct. This is called as the Taijasa, which is the mind. That is why they say Taijasa, you always see it in mind. See,
So,
when
this
you
will
are
be called
trying to,
Tejasa.
when we are, this contemplation is always with your mind, and you have dropped the external world. See,
But
you
this
have
is
dropped,
still in the Jagrat state. Isn't this in
yeah,
the Jagrat state?
yeah. In the Jagra state, suppose you are thinking about the future, or you're thinking
Hmm.
about what happened last year, 2 years ago, or
Yeah,
whenever we are thinking, what the Upanishad says is, in the waking state itself, you can be daydreaming.
yeah, yeah.
And whenever you are daydreaming, it is your mind. That means Taijasa and mind are connected. Because always, whenever you're dreaming, it is with the mind only. So you are
But
focused
if I'm concentrating listening to you,
yeah,
this is objective. Or this is, yeah, no, this is
that is the
different. But
years.
if I'm, yeah, that's the years. But if I'm just simply, I've studied something and I'm thinking about it, what's that? That's in the
That is
Jagrat state.
that is the Jagrat Avastha where you are focused with your mind, with your thoughts.
Will this be Tejasa then? Or,
It's Taijasa. According to Gaudapadacharya, he says that Taijasa can be experienced even in the waking state.
okay, okay. This is why this confusion was
Yeah,
there,
this
that
is a new thing.
this is
It is
not
not.
dreaming.
It is not said in any other Upanishad. It is Gaudapadacharya who is making this in this Karika. In this Karika, in the second Karika, he says that. Very
Correct,
unique.
correct.
He says that you can, for example, when you close your eyes and you think
Yes.
about how was your sleep condition, he says that itself is the prajna in the waking state.
In the waking state, yeah. So that's very useful to understand because I was thinking, how come this is Tejasa? Yeah,
Correct. See,
yeah.
Taijasa is always
Hmm.
related to the mind. Therefore, he says, you let that be your focal point for meditation. Prajna is always at the heart. He says
Mm-hmm.
you when you're sleeping, uh, Prashna
Mm-hmm.
Upanishad says that the mind rests in the heart. All the sense organs, they rest in the mind. And the mind, it rests in the heart. Very big description is given in Prashnopanishad, the fourth chapter, about what actually happens to you in sleep condition. How different, how all the sense organs and all, they resolve the mind, and the mind through Sushumna Nadi, it rests in the heart. So again, the Upanishad says, when you want to meditate on the prajna, keep that as a location only for meditational purposes.
Right. Can I ask just one last question? Am I right in assuming the conscience within every person, conscience, what we recognize in English conscience, which is the pure voice of reason one can think of, is it the a purified mind or the sattvic mind, or is it the Atman being reflected in the purified mind?
No,
when we say, I'm listening to the voice of conscience.
Yeah, when you're talking about the voices in your mind.
What the pure voice of reason, which tells me this is right, this is not right, the kind of viveka.
That is the sattvic state of the mind. That's all.
Sattvic state of the mind.
It is a sattvic state of the mind which says that this is right, this is wrong. So whenever you're clear, it is sattvic state of the mind.
But it's not because of the reflection of the Atman. That's what I mean.
It is the reflection of Atma in the mind.
In the mind.
Which allows this.
The mind has got three conditions: sattva, tamas.
Correct.
So when the reflection of consciousness in the mind, in the sattvic mind, then that is what you're describing as a mind which can see reason, which can see logic, which can see right and wrong, which can see dharma, adharma.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. This just really to get that clarity. Thank you so much, Shekharji. Is your slides which you're presenting, is it available now in your website?
I have sent to you today. I have sent to you today. I think Shanmugam has sent to you today all the notes which we have circulated for the class notes. Yeah. So the class notes are there. He has sent to you by email.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. That's fine. Perfect.
He also sent you the summary of all the first chapter, which which I had said in some of the talks. All the Karikas, the 29 Karikas, and the mantras in a very short way. I have put it in a summary form. It will be very useful to you for revision. Suppose you want to understand the whole chapter, what the whole chapter is talking about. So that summary it's only 50 pages. So that also I have sent to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So grateful to you, Shekharji.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Vijay, you have some remarks, something?
Yeah, I was just trying to thank you for the wonderful Karikas today, especially 3 and 4. It gives you such a great clarity, Shekharji. I was just referring back to one verse in BG where 5:14 you gave a hit on 8 and 9, but 5:14 I just thought we always blame why me. I think the Lord beautifully answers here in 5:14 and 5:15. So he says, "Na datte kasya chit papam na chaivam sukrutim vibhu." So the Lord does not actually receive any merit or sin. That Lord here is the Turiya. Turiya is above the Karanam Karya, as you rightly said. It does not have merit or sins. And unfortunately, knowledge is masked by the ignorance, and hence people are deluded. So why the difference? I was just going through one question I was writing as a query to you, because I'm always confused as to how else can I equate. What is that big difference between the third pada and the turiya? Because when we say consciousness, which is prapancha rahita, if it is turiya, then the prapancha also becomes rahita when I am in the state of sleep, that is sushupti, because your material world, that is your jagrat objective world subsides, and Swapna world also subsides. So you typically don't have anything. It's a nothingness that actually comes, right? I don't know. So when that consciousness minus prapancha, if I'm equating it to Turiya, then sleep also needs to be equated to Turiya. Then that is what answers here is, unfortunately knowledge then is marred by the ignorance. So I'm really waiting for that definition in verse 7, where I cannot equate the Turiya to be only Bahish
Good.
or Na Bahish
It's
or
coming.
Prajna.
It's coming.
It
Just
is
wait.
much more than that.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for
See,
that.
one,
Yeah.
one thing you should understand, which I'll explain to you, the prajna avastha is with ignorance, whereas Turiyam is without ignorance. I know I
Yes.
am this pure consciousness in which there is no universe.
Yeah.
I alone am. That is Turiyam. There is no waking state, there is no dream state, there is no sleep state. That is Turiyam, that is a higher state. That is a super waker state. That is what Mandukya Upanishad wants to reach. That is the goal of all the Upanishads. Whether you're studying Kathopanishad, whether you're studying Keno Upanishad, Pratibodha Viditam Matam, Anyatra Dharma, Anyatra Dharma, that Kathopanishad mantra, all of them are only pointing to this Turiyam. The
Yeah.
state is a potential state for the next waking state. It is not freedom. By knowing sleep state as the potential state in which the waking state is not there, the dream state is not there, but it is potential state for the next waking state because of ignorance. Your ignorance is still there of Turiyam. So unless your Turiyam knowledge becomes clear, then only you will see my ignorance is gone. The ignorance about myself is gone. Therefore, you will say, I am ever free. I am the Atma which Upanishads wants to realize as Atma. The sleep state is not the ultimate Atma. It is the last state before you reach the final state. Because Turim state is causeless. The sleep state is cause. It is the Karanavastha for waking and dream. This Mandukya Upanishad is beautiful when it comes to giving us the three descriptions of the three states. Nowhere else you will find this clarity of the three states. And where it says clearly, and suppose you believe that sleep state is Karanam, and I am crossing that Karana Avastha, and I am realizing I am Atma. Suppose you in your own mind you say, I am not the sleep state, I am the pure Atma, which is beyond the sleep state. And that is the description of the seventh one. The sleep state and the pure state, you should be very clear. We will be doing a big analysis. When we do the seventh mantra, there will be an analysis of why the sleep state is not the Turiyam and why Turiyam is not the sleep state. Shankaracharya is going to do a wonderful analysis. But
I have one adding on question, Shekharji, if I may be permitted. Yeah, so the question here is, we always say that the Sushupti Avastha is the potential form, right? It is the harbinger, or it is that initiative of the Turiyam. That means, can I say that the Turiyam is based on my sleep state? It is not, right? Because Turiyam is independent
No,
of all
no,
the
no.
three states.
Correct.
Yeah. Yes, it is
Turiyam is
independent.
always independent, whereas the sleep state is dependent on the Turiyam.
Correct.
Without the sleep state,
So my question here is, now, should I have to realize first the Turiyam to be disowning myself from the other three states? Or should I first have to disown the three states to be able to realize the state of, not state, the Turiyam, that I am the Turiyatma? So is it that I have to shovel out the ignorance before the knowledge comes, or the knowledge comes and then the ignorance goes?
You have to remove the ignorance about your identification with the three states as me. that ignorance has to go first. The moment you remove, see, the first three sentences in the seventh mantra, it says, na bahish prajnam, na anta prajnam, na prajnam, na prajnana khanam. That means what? I am not the waker, I am not the dreamer, I am not the sleeper. That is the first three words of the seventh mantra. Which means what? Mandukya Upanishad wants you to drop this identification with the three states as mithya. So only when you drop it and then ask the question, who am I? Then the Upanishad says, Shantam Shivam Advaitam Chaturtham Manyante Sa Atma Sa Vigneya. You are Shantam, you are Shivam, auspicious, you are Advaitam. Your Advaita means that explanation will come later. But this, these are the positive characteristics of the Turiyavastha. Negative characteristics, they remove it first. You're not a waker, dreamer, sleeper. Then the Upanishad in the seventh mantra itself will say that the Turiya state is not a state of nothingness, but it is a positive state of Atma. Okay, this many people have the confusion, but it is not easy to remove it unless and until you study Mandukya Bashyam.
Yeah. It is like from the plain slab when a sculptor chisels, he chisels out what is not Krishna to get the Krishna who's already there inside. So it is something like that. Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good. I think you got the answer. Good. Yeah, Venkatesh?
Yeah. I mean, it's really very, very interesting. When I just listen to the Shankar Bhashyam, I always say, like the basic Karyakarnis of Gaudapacharya is just straight to the point. All the 29 Karikas, particularly these first 9 Karikas and all. But the Shankar Bhashyam, he wants to establish that there is nothing other than the Brahman, one single Brahman.
Correct.
Ekam eva advitiyam, which is the Chandogya Upanishads and all.
Yes.
When I just see in a simple way, connecting so many, all these Upanishads and all, the way he has introduced Shankara Bhashyam, the simply saying, Akarana Brahma and Karana Brahma. Akarana, if we just see in this entire universe, there is a niyati, there is a control. Everything is happening based on the cause and effect. The sun rises, sun sets, day, night, all this life, death and all, everything is happening based on the cause and the effect. So that which is referring to that Karana Brahma. So we can take it like the Ishvara himself is like a intelligent cause of this entire cosmic, the whole universe. And the existence, this whole world is something like a, what you call the material cause. The intelligent cause is the Ishvara and the material cause is this
Maya
world.
Shakti.
Both are Maya Shakti of that Akarana Brahma.
Correct.
So that is how you could able to see whether we say Sabija, which is the Ishvara, and Nirbija, which is Akarana and all. If we just trying to see all this in one particular goal, what I'm just trying to see, like the Maya Shakti of that Akarana Brahma is what is everything actually.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, Shankar Bhashyam is a very extraordinary way he has put it actually, that ekam eva advitiyam, there is nothing else other than advitiyam.
That's correct.
So beautifully I could see, like I mean, it's an independent of the time, space and any object and all, everything is that Ishvara.
Yeah.
So which is why he says the moksha is in the Akarana Brahma only, not the Karana Brahma. It's a whole.
That's correct.
And
That's you got the point. Moksha is
Yeah.
only in Akaranam Brahma, not in
Brahma.
the Sushupti state, not in the Karanam Brahma, not in the
Yeah,
Karya
yeah.
Brahma.
Yeah. So we had to just see the whole picture in totally in a different aspect, actually.
We are going to see the theories of creation in the next, in this 8th and the 9th Karika. 7, 8, 9 Karikas are all based on theories of creation. We're going to see that.
Yeah, theories of the creation, the whole cause. I mean, I could see the way he is introducing Karana Brahma, Karana Brahma. What is the significance? I'm just trying to understand with the Chandogya Upanishad and all. So it's really fantastic,
Very
actually.
good.
Very.
Vijay has said this is the chapter 1 of Panchadasi. What you're saying is chapter 1 of Panchadasi.
Exactly. Tattva Viveka Prakaranam, we just, when we have gone through that, so that's where the significance is. Now, when I could see in the Agama Prakarana itself, he has gone to this extent in the Advaita.
You'll be flabbergasted. I'm telling you, the moment you cross the first chapter and go to the second, third, and the fourth chapter.
Yeah, that will be
Shankaracharya's
extraordinary, actually.
Bhashyam is amazing. It's really amazing.
Yeah, the Bashyam is really, it has a big significance. I mean, that's the reason why he has given a Bashyam. Like the Karyakarni, he just left it. Gaudapacharya's is very straightforward, I could say. He is emphasizing more clarity. He is giving a more clarity on the same thing. Whereas the Sankar Bhashyam is connecting so many Upanishads to give the
he
emphasis,
connects the
actually.
Gita, Upanishads, and he gives us so that as seekers, we have much more clarity.
Yeah, I mean, all that we could see, like all this right eye, left eye, and all that. This is fine, actually. Like the left brain, right brain, all this scenario nowadays. Left brain is associated with the right side of the eye and all that. Left brain deals with the logic and all. Right deals with the mind. That's the reason why he has emphasized on the right eye and all. So it's really fantastic. Sankara Bhashyam, it gives an impression that he's a god himself, actually. I mean, he's fully enlightened master, so he has the clarity of what he is putting into for the seekers like us, actually. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Venkatesh.
Vijay,
what you're saying in the chat box is correct about para, pashyanti, madhyama, and vaikari. I can understand what you're saying. You're on the right path in terms of understanding the details. Okay, so we will close today, and then we'll continue next week. This Bhashyams, it's going to, some portions after next week will become very technical, but we'll try and see how we can understand that portion also. Okay, thank you. And have a nice day.
Hari Om, Shekhar.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Thank you. Thank you.